Hello everybody, this is Froito Bob and here. Welcome to the 2021 New Year's special. Alright, just opening up the chat, making sure everything is good, and we are go. Alright then. We are underway for the 2021 New Year's special. Alright, so yeah, this has become a yearly tradition now. This is the third year in a row that I am doing this. With a bit of a format change, but still the same spirit, so it's should be same. So I'm gonna jump on my TV. Yeah. So, all right. So this, yeah, TV turn off, please. Thank you. Okay. So, just adjusting the camera. First this at a time, but I was like, this won't be too difficult if I just improvise it. Come on. Yeah, this is a cheap webcam. I've had this thing for a few years now, or since 2018 when I got this new computer. I say new, it was new at the time, but it's not new now, of course. Is that good? I do apologize for this. This is cringe. This is stupid content. Come on, almost there. And now it's too low. You know what? That's good enough. I don't care. Okay, welcome to the 2021 New Year special. So, zoom out the camera. I can't actually zoom this camera on, actually, I say zoom out the camera. This is all I got, actually. It's actually a really small camera, so I can't actually zoom it out any more than I already can. This is just the default camera. This is what we're gonna have to do. Until I get a better webcam, which won't be for, I don't know, a little while. Ironically, I got this camera from China. So yeah, welcome to the New Year's special. The 2021 version. It is also the Chinavirus edition. Hello, Kevin Robertson. Welcome to the show, and also welcome, Graz Derat. Welcome as well. So we got a few guys watching. We have Hammond in the chat as well. So a bit of a format change this year. So what's going to be happening is I'm going to be, it's going to be similar to the last couple of years, but I'm going to go month by month. I'm going to talk about how 2020 meant. So that means from January to December, I'm going to talk about every single event, important thing that happened in 2020. And then what's going to happen is that once I'm done talking about my year, I'm going to bring Russell onto the show, and I'm going to talk about his highlights of 2020. Then what's going to happen is that we're going to get ready for the new year. We're going to turn into 2021. And then to ring in the new year, we're going to play some Trainspotting 2021 for about an hour. And then we'll call it a stream. My mom called me Kevin Robertson, not okay, well, Kevin. I'm going to just say Kevin because it's easier. So, I guess now, so you may be wondering why am I calling this the Chinavirus edition? Well, the thing is, you can't talk about 2020 without calling it the Chinavirus. And I know people might say, oh, it's not the Chinavirus, it's the coronavirus. Well, guess what? To me, it's the Chinavirus because COVID is fake, but China is real. So I'm just gonna call it what is the Chinavirus. I know people are probably gonna get upset at me at this point. I've been called so many names at this point. I literally do not care. So just enjoy the show. All right? Okay. Anyway, as for what we're doing at Trainspotting, we're gonna be driving the Aero 3 out of New York because Times Squareisms. Although I don't think there's even gonna be a ball drop this year because because the governor of New York is a Democrat. Anyway, I'm gonna try to stay away from politics the best I can for this live stream because I know some people don't like to talk about politics, and that's fine. I can understand. So how about, I guess now another thing what I want to mention is that I had an interesting idea for this live stream where I was going to make a notepad thingamabob of all of the basically I would have all of these significant events written down on things so I know what to talk about. Although initially this was going to require me using getting the Twitter data, Twitter archive, and stuff like that, and essentially just looking through all my tweets of the year and writing down everything that happened important. Unfortunately, I requested it at 3 o'clock, and it still hasn't come in. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to do this off of YouTube content and from memory. So I can already see that there's going to be some very important event that happened in 2020 that I'm going to forget about, and then once the live stream is over, I'm going to be like, I forgot to talk about that. That was so important. I forgot to talk about this. Yeah. I already know it's gonna happen. There's gonna be that one thing that happened in 2020 that was gonna talk about on the live stream, but didn't because I am the most forgetful human being on the planet. Then again, to be fair, there's been come on, camera. To be fair though, there isn't that many significant events that I've forgotten about that are worth talking about, I suppose. Like at least I know from memory I can remember all the important things that happened in 2020. There's actually some things I didn't even make a video, didn't even tweet about. I just I just know what happened, and I'm going to talk about on the stream. There's also YouTube, which I'm always going to be remembering what happened this year based on the YouTube content and YouTube community posts. So why not we begin? Also, I think Twitter's mad at me. Yeah. It's every day now, and now that I'm doing a live stream, oh dear, I hope people don't come over to YouTube and bug me about being, silly, but at this point, it's just, alright, so, I rambled on for the past 6 minutes, let's actually start. So, the month of January of 2020, what happened in the month of January? Well, not much. Although school would be off to an interesting start um, because this was going to be the first year of a new English class that was going to be a part of. Because in 2019 there was an English class in school, and of course Hamster's playing. I just see notification on the bottom of the screen. That's what I'm referring to. But anyway, so new English class basically, because in 2019 there was this one English class that was in, except the class itself was just a mess because 60% of the grade had to do with this program called Reading Plus. And if you don't know what Reading Plus is, good, but just to put it simple, it's so bad. It's essentially this program where you just read a story and you answer questions, and then you read another story and answer more questions, and you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's extremely repetitive. It's such a horrible program. It's clear to me that they just put no effort into the program, and of course I wasn't gonna like it. And of course I was gonna flop in this class because, again, they 60% of, I think 60%, 80%, a very large percentage of the class, the grade came from that program, and I basically refused to play along with this program because it was just garbage. I didn't want to do it because it's just dumb. So I think I just talked about this in last year's live New Year special, but I might as well talk about it again because it's going to be important and for a reason I can find in a moment. So, awful class, terrible. So, starting on 2020, I was going to be put into this new English class. It was going to be a college level class. I'm aware I'm not entirely within the camp, but at this point, it doesn't matter. I've already filled around with this thing enough. So, it was a brand new, not brand new. It was a new class for me anyway. It was this college level English class. So no more of this stupid program, no more repetitive. We were actually going to be doing research projects that were actually interesting. So you may actually remember this from early on this year because early on this year, June or whatever it was, I actually uploaded the results of those research projects. And I actually liked it. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say that this new English class that would be put into, was probably the most enjoyable part about high school. And high school was honestly not a very enjoyable experience for me, but that was actually a really cool class. So I'll get more into it in a bit. But so essentially, January would be the month that I would be put on trial in this new class, and I liked it at first, and I decided I was gonna just go along with this class. Until the end of the year, and even if I failed, at least it was better than the joke of a class that I was in before. You delete the phone policy. I think I made that public again, but I talked about that last year, so it doesn't matter for this year. But anyway, actually, I think the phone policy video is still listed. I don't remember. I'll check it out after the stream or something. But anyways, so this was a new class, and at first I did kind of struggle in this class, but eventually I did get onto track. So that's one thing that happened in January. Other than that, January was honestly a pretty boring month. I guess nothing that's worth mentioning is that this was also the month that I was trying to edit and get done with the Trains New Era Winter Special Challenge, which you may remember from last year. I'm actually planning on removing that video from the main channel and uploading it to the Rubbish Bin channel because it's just not a very good video, and at least I don't think it is, because this video was essentially going to be like my magnum opus. It was going to be the next great thing that I was going to upload to my YouTube channel, and instead it was just lame, honestly. And it didn't even have to be that way. It was just because the challenge itself just wasn't that well executed on my end. Like, I was actually the one that planned out this whole challenge, and I'll be honest, I didn't do a very good job at it, and the challenge, in my opinion, was honestly a flop. So, yeah, I was actually going to try that again this year, but I just ran out of time. Because I was just taking a long break from trains and after a while, so anyway. Yeah, so I tried to get that video done, and eventually I did, and the video itself was honestly really lazy. Like, I'm not that pleased with it, so that's why it's going to be re-uploaded to the Rubbish Bin channel at some point in January. But yeah, I really did try to push myself to get that video done, and I just didn't feel like it that much at all, so yeah, that wasn't that fun. There was also some stuff that was playing with Train Slam 2000 in January as well. Um, I was finally getting grips with the blueprint editor, because you know the blueprint. Only people who play Train Simulator will know this, but there's Train Simulator is like blueprint editor where you can program your own XML files for whatever it is you're making, either a route or a train, you know. And I decided I was finally gonna get to grips with it because there was this one train in Train Simulator that I recently downloaded, or we recently downloaded, with me and somebody else. Um, and there was this one train, and you may actually know it. I haven't showed it off on the channel, but there was this one freeware train, and the sounds were a disaster. Then again, it's an old freeware train that hadn't been worked on in quite a while, but it was this train that was just the sounds were a disaster. Let's just say. So I decided to go and use the blueprint editor to try and redo the sounds, and I decided to just go as far as to redo all the sounds on that train, and that was actually kind of fun because I was using the blueprint editor at long last, and it's actually kind of easy to use once you figure it out. So I was able to completely redo the sounds on that train, and I'm quite proud of it actually. And I might even show it up on the channel in a live stream, maybe at some point in 2021. We'll see how that goes. And I guess one more thing that's worth mentioning is that I also did the tier list video, or tier list NASCAR driver predictions video, and yeah. That's honestly all I did for videos until... What's Twitter up to now? Yeah, 6 notifications. Anyway, yeah, so I only made 2 videos in all of January. Actually, well, technically, I uploaded 3 videos in January 2021, except the first one had already been released. That was the Bill and Ted. I'm pretty sure that was the Bill and Season 3. Yeah, it was the Bill and Ted Season Bloopers, Banters, and Updates. I don't really consider that to be my first video of 2020 because I had already finished that video up before the year, before 2019 ended. So, I mean, technically, yeah, it is my first video 2021, but it's not like my first new video 2021. It's basically just, you know what I mean. Although maybe it does kind of count as my first video 2021, whatever. But anyway, yeah, that was an interesting video. Yeah, that's all I got to say for January at this point. Yeah, that's all the significant events I can think of for January. There's probably going to be something that I forget about, but whatever. That's January. Overall, very boring month. Right, February. Now, here's a month where things get rather interesting. Like, yeah, as far as videos, all I really made was the, Oh, I also remember I did some live streams in January, but those are already public, so I don't really need to talk about those, so I'm not going to. Yeah, nothing... Yeah, I did some live streams in January as well, which I don't talk about, because that's oil, so... But yeah, let's say I did some live streams. There you go. So, February. I only made 1 video in February, and it turned out to be my most viewed video of the year, and I only made it in 20 minutes. It was the Ted falls into a river in Lego City video. It was that video. That's my most viewed video of the year. It got over 1,000 views, and of course it's the video that I uploaded in the year that took me almost the least amount of effort to make. Like, I made that video in 20 minutes, and it's my most viewed video of the year. Yeah, you know that moment where a video you put lots of effort into gets only 10 quarter... What am I trying to say? No. That moment when a video that you put almost no effort into gets 10 times as many views as a video that you put lots and lots of effort into. That's basically what happened with the Ted Falls into a River video. I made that video in 20 minutes. This is my most viewed video of 2020, but yeah. Although I'm not even gonna call that video of the year though. Although I will say that was one of my more interesting videos I uploaded this year, I will be honest. And yeah, that was actually made to cash in on the Lego City meme, which was pretty funny. I'll be honest. That's honestly one of the better memes that happened this year. So of course I was gonna cash in on it. You know, like at this point, any meme that I approve of will be a meme that I will eventually cash in on by making a video that's to do with the meme, such as such as Ted falls into a river in Lego City. Oh man, that was funny though. I honestly like the way that video turned, even though it only took me 20 minutes to make it. It was just for laughs. So that was the only video I made. Other than that, not much else happened in 2020. School was pretty normal. In 2020, I was continuing on with the new English class, and everything else was normal. Yeah, dang it. There's really not much else I can remember from February 2020. Again, I wish I had Twitter data, because then I can remember what other significant event happened in 2020. Oh yeah, February. It was also my 8th channel anniversary, and I actually had plans to do a 8th channel anniversary video thing, but I decided to put it on the back burner because it just took too long to make. I might resurrect at some point next year, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, the only other February thing that I can remember is the 2020 Speed Weeks. You know, NASCAR. You know, the Clash was a disaster. The Daytona 500 was, it was all right until the very end when you had Ryan Newman's crash. I guess talk about that. Whew, that was a night in NASCAR indeed. Ryan Newman's Daytona crash. It becomes so much more after what actually happened because it looked bad at first, but then you have Ryan Newman who had to be transported to the hospital. And for a while there, we assumed the worst. Like, I was one that night of the Daytona 500. I was constantly refreshing Twitter for 2 hours straight, waiting for word on Ryan Newman, on what his condition was, and a lot of us were very relieved to hear that his injuries were not life threatening and Ryan Newman would make a full recovery. That was such a relief because we were scared, man. We were scared. We thought the worst had happened, but no. Turns out Ryan Newman had survived the crash. A lot of people actually say Ryan Newman almost died in the crash, and I'm actually one to say that Ryan Newman didn't almost die in the crash because he made a full recovery after that crash. So, I mean, sure he was knocked out for a little bit, and sure his brain got shook around for a bit in the crash, but to say that he almost died, I feel like is a little bit far because if to say he almost died, then he would have had to have gotten injuries that were so bad that they might have ended his career or sidelined him for a year or two or a while, or maybe his doctor told him to not race anymore. But then that's not what happened. Instead, Ryan Newman made a full recovery, and he was back in action as soon as the season returned in March. Or May. I mean, I'll talk about that. So that's February. Yeah, that's really the only thing I remember. Oh yeah. Other important thing, I actually forgot to mention about January. Of course, I was going to forget about something. So let's go back to January for just a little bit. Pretty early on in the year, I think it was January 9th or January 10th. I went to the Newport Car Museum for the first time, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, Newport Car Museum. It was a really cool place, and I'll actually discuss that in a little bit because the day after, actually that's a pretty good segue because the day after the Daytona 500 happened, the following day on a Tuesday, I went back to the Newport Car Museum. This was actually the second time I'd been to the Newport Car Museum, except this time I shot a video which I have uploaded. Actually, I remember, yeah, I took that video in late February, and for some reason it didn't upload until March 4th something, but whatever. Yeah, so I went to shoot that video in February, the day after Ryan Newman's crash, and yeah, it was cool to get a video. The video itself actually has how many views? 64 views, which for a video that's almost an hour long and is really just a tour of a car museum, that's alright, I suppose. I don't actually know how many people actually watched the entire video. I hope at least 1 or 2 people watched the whole video, because that's honestly one of my better videos from the year, I gotta be honest. It's not my best, but it's still a pretty good video, in my opinion. I thought it was a very nice car thingy. Although, if you ever pay a visit to the state of Rhode Island, and you're like me and you like cars, or maybe even if you don't like cars that much, go to the Newport Car Museum. It is totally worth your time. Just go to the Newport Car Museum, okay? Yeah, like I said, go to the Newport Car Museum. It is totally worth your time. You will enjoy yourself looking at cool cars from the present day and from the past as well. And if you want an idea of what the Newport Car Museum was like, just watch my video on it. I know it's a long one, but the whole thing is worth watching. So that's March. I mean, that's February. Now into March. Yeah, Twitter's angry at me. Really nothing I can say about March, to be honest. Hammond! Okay, Rhode Island isn't that good of a state, but there are a few parts of Rhode Island that are actually quite cool, and Newport Gun Museum is one of them. Actually, Newport in general is actually a really nice town in Rhode Island. Yes. Anyway, so getting into March, another forgettable month. Like again, I wish I had Twitter so I could, you know. To be fair though, no significant events happened though. Actually, March is a pretty significant event. A pretty, right? Russell, you suck. You actually suck. Anyway, so March. Now this is actually the month of the China virus hit, but I want to talk about the parts of March that were normal before the China virus hit. To be honest, it wasn't that interesting. I mean, I finally uploaded the I actually got around uploading the Newport car amazing video, and also I also finally got around to finishing up the 2018-19 NASCAR season awards, and that was for the, or technically it's a 2018-19 NRL season awards, but you know what I mean. So I finally got around to finishing up that video. I had been working on it since August of 2019, so it was nice to finally get that video done and out of the way. So that was nice. School was normal again. Not much to say. NASCAR was fun, I guess. You know, NASCAR went to Auto Club, which was an interesting race. Alex Bowman won, which was really cool. And then the following week we had Phoenix. Phoenix, which Logano won. By the way, yeah, at this point Logano already won 2 races in the year, and yeah, I'm not a fan of Joe Logano, by the way. I don't like him at all. So NASCAR was fun. Yeah, I really wish I had Twitter so I could. That said, though, maybe it's a good thing that a good thing. Maybe I'm not missing anything by not having my Twitter data. I wish Twitter would just give my data back. Let me check right now. Is Twitter gonna give me my data ever, or is it just gonna stall around all day and stuff like that? You know, Twitter's a joke sometimes. Yeah, people are getting mad at me again, but that's the normal at this point. Yeah, that's all I can think of. I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Maybe whatever happened between January and March or whatever, the little things I can't remember, it's probably still in significance that's not what we're talking about anyway. And to be fair, we're 23 minutes into this live stream, and I do obviously want to, you know, finish talking about the year. Yeah. To be honest, it's probably better that I just talk about the most significant things that happened in 2020. Anyway, so NASCAR videos happened, and then the China virus, and the national emergency, and lockdowns. March 12th, 2020. Probably the most depressing day of the year. I gotta be honest. It was terrible, because, you know, it was really Friday that everything just came out, because, you know, we had quite a lot going into the weekend, especially specifically for us motorsports. We had NASCAR that was going to race at Atlanta. We had IndyCar and F1 were going to have their season openers in St. Petersburg and Australia. And then it all got canned. Yep, NASCAR Atlanta got postponed, the season opener, and, you know, season opener of IndyCar was postponed, and the season opener of the F1 Millions season was straight up canned. And what was actually interesting is that day before, on Thursday, that was the last day that I was, like, physically in school. I was actually kind of sick that day with a bit of a cold. And then actually stayed home the day after that. And, you know, that had nothing to do with the virus, by the way. It was just because, you know, I just didn't feel like going to school, so I wasn't, bothering. To be honest, not going to school on that Friday probably was a good idea. Because everything was just getting canned and canned and canned. Everything was closed up. And soon enough came out the national emergency that for 8 weeks would be the point in time when, you know, it hit. It was the China virus. The China virus had been among us, and so would be what would be set the tone for the rest of 2020. So after that point, lockdowns were all over. The country was closed up. Actually, the world was closed up. Nothing was happening. But then there was a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel because that Sunday, since there would be no form of auto racing, what would happen instead is that Sunday would be not the Australian Grand Prix on F1 2020, and it was also the replacements 500 on iRacing. So basically, esports was going to be coming in. So yeah, since there was no real racing to watch, we had to watch virtual racing. So yeah, so we saw not the Australian Grand Prix, which was a pretty decent race. Please don't do that. And then later that same day, I also watched the replacements 100, which was the Atlanta race, thingamabobbins. You guys might know that race. Well, motorsports fans will know that race, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that was actually a pretty interesting race. It looked like William Byron was about to win, but then it was the guy in the 12 car, who I guess is someone affiliated with Byron. But I thought that was an interesting race because you had real NASCAR drivers, and then you had drivers that were affiliated with like the actual drivers, like it was like media people or crew chiefs and stuff like that driving instead. So that was a pretty interesting race. Yeah. It was also announced that week that what am I trying to say here? That school would be closed up for a week, because what usually happens in school is that in April we have an entire week long break from school, because that's essentially supposed to be the spring break of 2020 for like the school year and stuff like that. But what they decided to do instead was bring the spring break up to March, because they would need to close up the schools for about a week and actually have no school in general, because essentially what they were probably doing the week was planning out the virtual classes, because this was essentially a bit of a transition period where since the world was closed up, we had to go from doing everything in the real world to virtual. And yeah, that pretty much set the tone for the rest of the year. So now you guys might know this already, but of course, all those are fireworks. It's not 2020 yet. Hold off, you morons. Anyway, so everything went virtual basically. So I also decided, speaking of virtualisms, I also decided for that week I would actually live stream. Okay, guys, calm down. I would live stream for all 5 days. So if we go to, actually, only enough before the whole lockdown stuff came in. Actually, hang on. What day was March 12th? Was that a Thursday or a Friday? Hang on a second. I forget which day that was. March. Oh no, yeah. Okay, yeah. March 12th was a Thursday, and then March 13th was a Friday. So then it was March 13th that everything would change, but it was March 12th that everything got locked up and stuff. So yeah. So I did a couple live streams, oddly enough, and but then the following week, I decided to do 5 streams in a row. I think it was 5 streams in a row. Yes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no, I did 4 streams in a row, but I missed off one because reason. I decided to play a bunch of racing games. I played full seasons of NASCAR Heat Evolution and Heat 2, and I also played well, I say Heat Evolution, I kind of feel Heat Evolution the first time, but the second time I would get it right. But I also did I had F1 2020 and F1 2015, and NASCAR Heat 2 as well. So this was an idea that I had wanted to do for a little while, actually, and I figured that since there would be no auto racing, I figured, well, why not do my own live streams of auto racing and stuff like that. Can you settle down with the fireworks? It's not 2021 yet. Oh my goodness. I swear, the people of the Snail Road are morons. Alright, you know what? I'm going to continue with the fireworks. Who cares? So, on that note, so I did live streams, and although I remember I did live streams on like Monday through Thursday, but then I didn't do a live stream on Friday for some reason. I can't remember what happened on that day. I think it was because there was a lack of interest in the live stream, so I decided that I would just not do that live stream on Friday, and instead do it on a different day. So that was the first week, and that weekend would be the NASCAR virtual iRacing race at Homestead. Yeah, because NASCAR would have raced at Homestead in real life in that weekend, but of course it it didn't happen real life, but it happened in virtual world. And it was actually quite cool because NASCAR for once was doing something right, and they were at the top because you know there was nothing going on. So NASCAR was like, hey, we've got iRacing. Let's race on there instead. You know, and that was so cool. Because iRacing was now on a global stage, and you had the real drivers racing, and not and well, yeah, all the real drivers from NASCAR Cup Series and NASCAR Xfinity and trucks as well, and that was pretty cool because there was no real NASCAR on, but we had something to watch, and that was cool. Denny Hamlin won, by the way. Yeah, so NASCAR went virtual, and it was cool. Although, as nice as that was, unfortunately that day would take a bit of a dark turn later on because virtual school was gonna become a thing, and yeah, let's just say that virtual school or school in general would become a little bit interesting, for at least a little bit, I should say, for at least this dark day. Essentially, what the original plan was is that we were only going to have virtual school for 2 weeks, and it was just gonna be like extra cherries on top, and then after those 2 weeks, then essentially we would go back to regular school again. And to be honest, it's probably better off if they didn't do that. Well, there was no virus, so it didn't really matter. But anyway, so, but I guess but the Chinavirus though was still there, so there was that to contend with. So essentially, what happened is that, I guess, assuming that school goes all the way until the end of the school year in June. So basically, virtual school was about to become a thing. Let's just get that straight. Virtual school was about to become a thing, and I wasn't happy about it. I was really hoping that I didn't have to do it because, first of all, this is Salt Lake High School that we're dealing with, and Salt Lake High School has had a very, very bad reputation with screwing things up. I don't know what it is about Salt Lake High School, but these people, they just can't seem to do anything right. So, I was not looking forward to that. In fact, I was trying to object to it. I was hoping that I would get a couple weeks off to myself. I was just gonna be able to do whatever I wanted, and just generally hoping that I wouldn't have to do the virtual stuff. But unfortunately, no. I was gonna be forced into it because reasons, I guess. So later that day, on that Sunday, I did the live stream, which I've since deleted, by the way. Essentially, just saying that we hit a really low point, and I really thought we were. I don't know why, but I just got this idea where virtual school of Salt Lake High School was just gonna be the worst thing ever. It was gonna be terrible. We had come to this low point. I thought that nothing could be worse. 2020. Here we are in 2020. It's the worst year of my life. And I essentially did a live stream, complaining about how it's gonna be horrible. And looking back, I feel stupid for doing that, to be honest. But I guess just getting into that day, I got into virtual classes, and it wasn't even bad. Looking back, I don't even know why I was so paranoid about virtual classes, virtual school, to the point where I was even thinking about suicide. And then I got into it, and I was like, this is harmless. Oh man, I don't know what was going through my mind. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter, because eventually I got into virtual school, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that good, but it wasn't that bad. It was tolerable. It was tolerable. Yeah. It wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was tolerable. And that was, at this point, that was good enough for me. Because if 2020 was just going to do this to me, then fine, I'll play along. So, yeah, so then came in the first week of virtual school, and to be honest, after a while, I kind of preferred virtual school over actual school, to be honest. Because For one thing, I didn't have to wake up excruciatingly early in the morning. I could, for another thing, I could do things at my own pace instead of having to, keep to a schedule. I mean, for a bit, I did have to. Like, I did actually have to wake up excruciatingly early in the morning so I could, do the attendance thing tickies. But after a little while, I actually decided to just wake up at whenever I want to, which was 11:30, because at that time 11:30 was actually my wake up time, so I was just gonna wake up at 11:30, and then I was going to do my thing, and yeah, basically just do what I do on normal projects, like what I do with YouTube and stuff like that, and yeah. So yeah, first week of virtual school, it was alright, I guess. It wasn't perfect, but it was alright. And I might as well just talk about virtual school as a whole, just my entire experience throughout. It was generally an alright experience. That's it. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was alright. Nothing that good about it, but nothing that bad about it either. It was at least at a level that I could tolerate it. I could do it. I could finish all my lessons with no problems at all. And yeah. I will say there were some lessons that I just had absolutely zero motivation to do, and I just didn't even do them ever. And which was fine because it didn't even change anything anyway. I eventually would graduate, which I'll get into later on. Speaking of later on, we got some interesting things to talk about later on, so that'll be fun. So, other than that, the rest of March was the thing. Of course, you get all the other things to do with the Chinavirus. You had your social distancing, you had your masks, you had other things. And at the time, since it was a national emergency, only 10 people were allowed in the building at a time. So, that was a thing. I actually didn't go out that much at all during the national emergency. Like, I did go out once or twice, but I tried to stay indoors or at home as most as possible. Not because I believe there's a virus going around. No, it's because I don't even like wearing a mask. Back in those days and even these days, you can't go in anywhere maskless without getting told off by somebody. So, and I don't like wearing a mask. I'll be honest. I honestly don't like wearing a mask, and it's just generally not comfortable to wear because, for one thing, it restricts my airflow. Like, the whole reason why humans have mouths and noses is to breathe. Except when you put a mask on, it restricts your airflow and you can't breathe as nicely. And I've realized that I have breathing troubles when I put on a mask. Like, I put a mask on, I can't breathe. Then I take the mask off, and I have to take a huge breath in as if I've been holding my breath from being underwater or just being in a place with lack of oxygen. That's the problem. I was getting lack of oxygen from wearing a mask, so I was like, fine, I'll just stay home all the time. That's what everyone wants me to do anyway, so, alright, I'll stay home. And that was honestly a pretty good idea. I will be honest, that was a good idea indeed. So that's March. What else? What's Twitter doing? Of course they're mad at me. Can Twitter go one day without getting mad at me? I swear to God. Yeah, Twitter's angry at me because reasons. Yeah, I'll address this later. I got a live stream to do. I haven't got time for that drama rubbish. Anyway, so Chinavirus. I guess now we can get into April. And to be honest, April didn't really have anything happen. I will be honest, April was a very, very boring month. Very boring month indeed. Next to nothing happened that I can talk about. That I can really talk about. I mean, I did things. We did stuff. I guess. But yeah. By the way, is anyone watching? By the way, so I'm just gonna check my stream stuff. Yeah, we got 2 concurrent viewers. I guess that's good enough. Anyway, so March. No, April. Pretty boring month, I gotta be honest. April was honestly really boring. I will be honest. I think actually I would even go as far as to say that April was even more boring than January. I know I said earlier that January is probably the most boring month of the year. I think that one really goes to April. Honestly, there really isn't that many significant events that I did in April. I mean, school was fine. Virtual school was going all right. I didn't do much in terms of YouTube because I was so busy with school. Yeah. Really nothing I can say about April, to be honest. There's probably something small that happened, but I've forgotten about it. So, but that wasn't that important. As far as YouTube content, well, let's see. I uploaded the Mr. Bubbles Plays Train Simulator video. Yeah, I had actually been playing that video for a while, and that video. I mean, it's. I feel like that video was just way too long. I was hoping that video would only be 20 minutes long, but it wound up being 45 minutes long because I guess it took that long just to get everything through. But no, that was a pretty funny video. Like that Mr. Bubbles Plays Tracer video. I actually had the video on my mind for a couple years at that point, but it wasn't until 2020 that I was able to go and execute it, and I thought was pretty funny, you know? Oh, that video was brilliant. I also did the NASCAR Cup Super Walking Slim, which was just a filler video, but it was a funny video either way, so that was interesting. And also did the NRL Skills Cup Series Special Edition race at Talladega. That was pretty fun. As far as live streams, I only did 2 like them. I did the NASCAR Evolution full season, I did NASCAR 2 full Cup Series seasons, but I didn't really do much in terms of live streaming. Yeah. Or content in general. I've also been like, no. Yeah, we made Mr. Bubble Play Train Simulator with a funny video. Especially the ending of that video. I thought that was honestly a really funny part. Just a bit. I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen the video, but I thought the ending of that video was so brilliant. Like, it was so nice to finally execute it after having it on my mind for so long. So that was fun. That was pretty fun indeed. Well, no, that's it. Yeah. I wish I had Twitter so I could talk about the small things, but whatever. Ha ha ha, Russell. The video was funny. Yeah. That's all I have to say about April. April the month. It doesn't talk about. Oh yeah, there was also the Bank Coach's comment, which you can watch on my Bank Coach's YouTube channel. So that was interesting. Oh, that's about it. That's about it for April. I really can't say much for April. Again, there's probably something that happened in the month of April that I'm forgetting about, but that's what happens when you don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, let's move on to March. So, May. So let's talk about month of May. So, this would be a nice month because the Match of Mercy would finally be coming to an end, and actually on the first day of the month, NASCAR had announced the return. It was coming back. That was right. NASCAR was about to come back, racing at Darlington and then Charlotte. That was pretty cool. Really nothing to say about March until that point. I mean, May. Actually, what I'm going to do about May is, before I talk about NASCAR, I'm actually going to talk about my tenure in that new English class. So what I've actually been doing in that English class since I started it, and really this really got underway with the when the virtual thing started. You may know this. So if you guys watched the Lewis Grip Training Simulator tutorial, that was essentially the end result of the of that research project. And through all that time, though, I decided, well, I basically, put a lot of effort into it, because essentially what I did is I had to write up a document describing what I was doing, and then I had to make the video itself. So, in the month of May, I was slacking behind in the virtual class in general, but I especially just wasn't up to par in that virtual class. There's nothing I just remembered, but I'll talk about that in a bit. But there was another very important thing. No, Jesus. The English class was important. And what was going on is I was slacking, basically. There was some days where I didn't even do anything with that class because I just didn't have any motivation to work on it. And it actually came to a point where I had slacked so much to a point where I was starting to fall behind a bit, and I honestly wasn't really that proud about it. By the way, it's probably a good idea that I can't remember some of the other things that happened in 2020 because we're 45 minutes into the live stream and we got only an hour 15 minutes. So, you know what? Actually, I will keep Twitter up for the most significant things, but we'll, actually, you know what? How about this? I'm gonna shut Twitter off because at this point in time, I think my memory is like good enough where I can talk about all these significant things that happened in 2020. So, continuing on with the English class, I had been slacking for the longest time, so it had come to a point where for the entire month of May, I would put off YouTube altogether. Like for the second half of March and for all of April, I was doing the virtual classes, but I was also doing those alongside of doing YouTube, where I wasn't uploading content on a regular basis, but I was keeping focused on at least keep my YouTube channel live as much as possible. Um, but at that point, I began to slack on school for a bit, especially the English class. And at this point, none of the other classes were really that important to me. Like, math was easy, some of the other classes were pretty easy, and there were some other classes that I just had no motivation for, so I just decided to put those off for the longest time. But it was the English class that I really felt I was slacking and could do a lot of improvement in. So, what I decided to do was put off YouTube content for an entire month. Where for that whole month, I didn't do anything YouTube related. I didn't make any videos, apart from one raw video, which I put like next to no effort into. I didn't do any live streams that month either. I essentially spent that whole month of May, just working as hard as I could on that research project to get it done in as quickly as possible, whilst also coming out with as good of a project as with as good of a product as I could. Because that wasn't it actually. Once I got that project done, I had another one to do, which explains the Man of Many Interests video, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I basically been slacking for a while there, so I decided that I was going to, focus on that, and it turned out that was a very good idea. I got it done. I got the grade. I got a good grade in that English class, so it was all worth it. My hard work had paid off. I had done something cool in school for once, and yeah. So that's basically how the month of May went as far as school. And this was gonna be the final full month of school because I was gonna be graduating in June, and I was so happy for that. But the month of May was really a month about just grinding in general in school and getting everything done in in the most swift but also the most productive way possible. And I did it. I did it. I graduated from school that June, and it was never a worry again. So that felt pretty nice. That was nice. The month of May actually gets interesting for other reasons that I'll be getting into. So next we'll talk about NASCAR, and this is going to be the month that NASCAR came into its return. Like the week before NASCAR's return at Darlington, we had the virtual race in North Wilkesboro, which was pretty cool. But then came the return of actual NASCAR. It was back. It was back. That race at Darlington, the For the Real Super 400, that was when it hit, honestly, that we had come back to normalcy. That was really a process of healing, because after all these mass cancellations, after the world being in lockdown, after the economy crashing, we had a sense of normalcy. Because, the fact that we were able to host an actual race in the first place was pretty rewarding. And it gained traction. Yeah, a lot of people watched, a lot of people paid attention, a lot of people eyes on NASCAR, and it went well. And so the rest of the 2020 season went off without a hitch. That was so nice. Yeah. And the flip was it was an alright race. It wasn't the most entertaining, but at least it was fun. And it was just general. Although what made the race enjoyable was just because after all the crud that we'd been through, it was so nice to have some actual racing back on television. And yeah, television became important because it being a closed door race, television was the only way you could watch the race, and television and streaming, but it was the only way you could watch the race, and you couldn't be there, honestly. But yeah, that was honestly a really nice feeling. We had a sense of normalcy, and yeah. And the rest of the matches went off without a hitch. I won't talk too much about the NASCAR season from here on out. I will only say I was kind of upset with the Toyota 300 later that week where Kyle Busch spun Chase Elliott. That was pretty annoying. Why? Of course, of all drivers, my two favorite drivers in the whole series get tangled up. And Chase like gets mad at Kyle Busch, and then he gives up the bird, which was pretty funny. I'll give it that. And yeah, then the following day was the NASCAR Xfinity race at Darlington, and that was a cool race because you had Kyle Busch, but it was also you also had Chase Briscoe and of course the other guys, but Chase Briscoe beating Kyle Busch in that race was pretty cool. I will say. Yeah, Chase Briscoe beating Kyle Busch in the race was pretty cool. And yeah, then the Charlie weekend happened, and not much to say about that, but that was a interesting weekend, I guess. And okay, so before we move on to June, there's one more thing I need to talk about, and actually tell you what, I'll say this when I talk about June. Actually, you know what? Since we're segueing into June, I'm going to talk about this. So, now it's time for me to talk about a very unfortunate situation that didn't need to happen, but happened anyway. It is the case, you know, you may remember I made a video about this. It is the biggest snowflake of a racing loaner ever. Now, so that means the situation, it was me versus Donald Trump and Jay. I've already made a video about it, so, well, I've already made 2 videos on this situation. So if you want to know the full story of what the situation is, just watch the video called "The Biggest Snowflake of Racing Going Ever," and then watch part 2 of that, which is what came off the aforementioned video. But since we're talking about the year, I might as well give you the short version story. So it started in late May, and I recently purchased. Well, I say recently, back in February. I had purchased NASCAR 15. I actually got 3 different copies of the game. So I got 1 copy for me, 1 copy for Domtron, and 1 copy for Russell. And the initial plan was that we were going to do this thingamajig. We were going to do a thing on it. Let's just say that much. That kind of gave it away, but we were going to do a thing on it. I won't say much about it for now, because maybe it'll be rekindled at some point in the future. But I might as well, talk about it briefly. So we go to NASCAR 15, and then I came across a tweet saying, this guy was running a NASCAR 15 league on the Steam version. So I just thought this would be a very interesting and fun experience, because it was me, Dom, John, and Russell. All 3 of us going to be in a racing league, and I thought it was gonna be cool because all 3 of us would be racing in a league with some other players, and oh man, I couldn't have been more wrong. It was. Oof. It became so much worse than I could have ever had imagined. I had no idea what I was in for. I thought it was gonna be a fun experience. We were gonna be in this racing league. Instead, it would be the beginning of the end of Top Gear 2.0 as we knew it at the time. So, it wasn't too far that I learned that Jay was a massive snowflake. Essentially I was doing some things. I was essentially doing some things in the group in that racing league, and this is a short version story, by the way. I was doing some things in that racing league that let's say Jay didn't like, and the things I did were just so harmless. At least I think it was. I didn't think I really did anything that crazy. I thought what I was doing was harmless, and it really should have been. But Jay was like, no, this is bad. You can't do this. And it's like. It didn't take me long for me to figure out this guy was a massive snowflake. And it wasn't too long until I got banned from the league as well after I questioned the legitimacy of the decision, because what happened next is that Jay had announced that Donald Trump was going to be the league co-owner, basically. And here's the part that made me really upset about that, because this league was in such disrepair when we joined it that I made an entire paragraph about how to improve the league, and Jay agreed with almost all of my solutions. So I had essentially come in and saved the league from being a complete mess. So, honestly, I should have been hired as one of the staff, but instead, he brought on Domtron because Domtron is apparently this really nice person, and that's honestly the theme about Domtron. Like, he's not that intelligent, but he's this really nice person. He doesn't criticize anyone, unless it's me. But he doesn't criticize anyone. He, just goes along with what's going on. And the thing about Domson is that before then I don't think he had been any part of like online organization unless you count Top Gear. But at least in that style, like he'd never been part of a racing league or any part of league in general. But and literally the only reason why he got hired, was because he was nice. Yeah. Like, I get it. Being nice can get you in a better direction, but he's gonna treat me like I'm the third. I don't get it. Yeah, I'll mention you in a moment, Russell. Don't worry. So anyway, so talking about the situation more. So, it took me long to realize that he was basically a big snowflake, and then he brought Domson as his staff. Then I questioned the legitimacy of the thing, why he brought him on, and then Jay got mad at me for this, for simply questioning, and then he banned me from the league. So I tried to get the following day I tried to get myself reinstated. That didn't work, so I was like, fine. If it's gonna be a big fight, then I don't even want to do with this anymore. So then on Tuesday, that following day, I was trying to forget about that, the whole league, but then no, Domson insisted that this was a good idea. So essentially stayed in the league, tried to, how do I speak, man? I don't know, like, Jake has made fun of you when you were not there. That's pretty interesting. I don't know about that, but that's a very interesting detail. Thank you for bringing that up, Russell. Yeah, just Jay's a massive snowflake. But anyway, so continuing with the short version of the story, essentially Domtron insisted that being in the league was a good idea, and so I tried to get him out of the league. I'm pretty much just repeating everything I said in the video, so you might as well just watch those videos. So I guess I'll just list off what happened then. So what happened then is that we, Jay got mad after I tried to get into this Discord server and get some screenshots. Jay got mad. We had a meeting about it. We came to an agreement, and that was pretty much that for a little while. Then the whole shebang happened where Jay got mad at me for telling him what to do. So then I made a video about that, the whole situation, and then I uploaded it, and I uploaded on YouTube, and then Domtron got, like, basically dumped ship. I know that's a really rushed version of that story, but I've made 2 videos on it, so just watch those videos if you want to be in the know-how what actually happened. But I want to just get through this as quickly as possible, because I've already made 2 videos about this, and there's a lot more 2020 than just that. So, and by the way, we're only halfway in the year. We're already out. I'm gonna speed this up a bit. So yeah, I'm not gonna be looking at Twitter for the rest of this. I think at this point I'm just gonna just go off of memory at this point, because yeah. So anyway, so that's what I'm gonna mention for the J situation. Like I said, I've already said just watch the videos if you want to be in the know-how. So, how about we move on from that rubbish and talk about something more lighthearted? So going back to virtual school with the virtual classes, so the bit that I talked about with this new college class of doing the research projects. I'd eventually upload those videos to the to YouTube. It was the Lua script tutorial video and the managed video. And I'm actually quite pleased. The Lua video got 259 views, which I'm pretty proud of. Yeah, go figure. A school project got quite a lot more views than most of the videos I uploaded this year, so that was cool. And I also uploaded the managed video, which has got a lot less views, but that's understandable because that video is a lot more about me than anything. I also uploaded a couple more videos in that year that not really worth talking about that much. I guess getting back into school in month of June. This is also, I graduated from school in June as well, so it was such a weak graduation, by the way, but at that point I didn't even care. I just want to be done with school more than anything, because it's taken the toll on my life for several years now, and I just want to be done with school at that point, so yeah, being able to celebrate my graduation was a pretty good relief. So yeah, and it makes it a bit of a party as well. We had the cake, um, and yeah, that was pretty cool. We had the cake, and yeah, that was that celebration. That was nice. Um, I guess talking about Russell, I did mention Russell for a bit back in um, the Jay situation. I guess also with mentioning that Russell didn't really have that much involvement in the situation. I mean, Russell was in the league at one point, but then he got out of it because, to be fair, Russell didn't take that much part in that league, and I'm glad he didn't, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, at least Russell got some enjoyment out of it, so I guess that was interesting. But yeah. So June, and yeah, no, there's a certain significant thing that happened, but how many people were at the Salty graduation? Three. Basically, it was just me, dad, and mom. That was it. Oh yeah, there also did a virtual graduation that I didn't attend because I didn't really care for it. I did at least get a picture though. I took a picture of holding a board, which I have right here, except I don't want to show it because it's gonna give away some information that I can't share publicly. Not yet, anyways. But yeah, it was a graduation, and it was nice, I guess. We had a cake. It was a very expensive cake, though. Actually, was it expensive? Whatever, it was a cake. So, that was nice. It's honestly a pretty weak graduation party, but it was 2020, so I didn't really care, to be honest. I didn't even have a birthday cake this year, which I'll talk about that briefly when that time comes. Anyway, so, that's about it for June. I could talk about the situation that NASCAR got into with Bubba Wallace and the new situation in Talladega, but I don't really have anything to add to that situation, so I'm just gonna briefly mention that and move on. And that's pretty much the month of June. Yeah, overall, an interesting month. I also did the Auto Sim live stream. Actually, what did I do as far as live streams on in the month of June? Oh yeah, well let's see. We did some Roblox streams. We did the Train Sim World 2 stream. We did some other streams. Oh wait, that's July, not June. Yeah, whoopsies. Right. Well, not much I can say for June, and we're running out of time, so I really want to get Russell's part, so I'm gonna make sure I can get this done in the next half hour. Okay, I'll be as quick as possible. So, July. Pretty of a boring month, to be honest. Nothing really happened this month until oh yeah. So I guess now getting back to the snowflake situation for a brief moment. As you know, we had lost one of our members from the group, so we need a replacement. And that replacement turned out to be Hoobie, which was revealed in the Roblox event that in that month of June. I guess I'm going to talk about Hoobie's tenure in Top Gear so far, and it's been mixed. It's been some good days, but to be honest, I haven't been talking to Jay that much because of course, Hamster is a thing. We haven't talked to Hoobie that much recently, though, because he hasn't been too prominent in the group. He's been there. But we announced his replacement in the live stream, and I thought that was a pretty good live stream. The live stream is actually currently unlisted right now, but I will make it public some point, maybe next week or the week after. I'm not too sure, but some point soon. Don't worry. Yeah, so we did that. I guess I should also mention that in the month of June, as soon as the school came to an end, essentially at this point I had begun with making more NRL paint schemes. Like the NRL series, the 2021 NRL season, that started in November, but I had actually been regularly working on it since June. Like, it was actually June that I officially started working on the project on a regular basis. Essentially just making lots and lots of paint schemes. So I essentially did that. I started out in June and continued all the way until October when I finally got done with paint schemes and still was able to start with actually doing the recordings and stuff. So there's that. And I continue then to the month of July. Really not much else I can say about the month of July, to be honest. I mean, NASCAR was NASCAR, and Yeah, I might as well just warp through this as quickly as possible. Might as well, because there's actually some pretty significant events that happened later on this year that I really want to talk about. So July. Then there was the Xbox Game Showcase, where we react to the new Forza Motorsport game. So it's pretty interesting. Once again, that's already up on YouTube. So if you want to know how that went, you can watch that back. But what can I just say? Ever since Forza Motorsport was announced back at the Xbox Game Conference, there's been no news on Forza Motorsport since. Yeah, it was announced back in July. It is almost 2021, and since then, we have heard nothing on Forza Motorsport. I guess it really is an early development. I thought I thought the early in development was like a bit of an over exaggeration, but yeah, the game must be early in development though if they're saying nothing about it. you know. Like they talked about it briefly at the Xbox Game, how we've got new things like rage strikes, we've got all these new cool tools, we're gonna make the game, we're gonna make it faster, all this new stuff. And that was it. They didn't say anything more about the game about that. And we still have yet to hear more news on Forza Motorsport. And I don't see them coming out with any more news on the game until maybe summer of this year or summer next year or 2022. Jeez. All they say, this one say though, that Forza Horizon 5 might be ready to go, coming out next year, 2021. I'll make sure to be getting that. So yeah, right. And that was the Xbox Games Conference. That was month of July. Yeah, might as well just get through this as quickly as possible because we're starting to run out of time. That's videos, that's streams. Okay. So now I'll talk about the month of August. There's only really a couple significant things that happened in the month of August, so I'll just get through this month as quickly as possible. I guess the first part of August that's what we're talking about is the trip that I went to Boston. So obviously that video's up on YouTube. That's one of my better videos that I made this year. I'm really proud of. That was the video that I went to Forest Hills for a day, which was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. That was such a good day, man. That was fun. I will be honest though. I might as well talk about that for a bit because I was also kind of nervous heading into that trip because this was going to be the first big trip that I was going to be on in the midst of the Chinavirus. Like, I had been on some trips that I totally forgot to mention. Back in January and February, I went to some train shows and stuff. I probably should have wrote this down. But yeah, I actually went to, dang it, of course there's things I forgot about. Okay, let's back up a bit. So back in January, I actually went to the Northeast Auto Show. If you want to look at all the trips from that point, I have the videos of those. So if you want to watch those, but I did go on some trips before the Chinavirus hit. So I went to a few train shows. I went to the South Shore train show in Hingham. I went to the Amherst train show. I went to the big Amherst train show, the Expo, the video that was 45 minutes long or something like that. I went to that train show, and I went to Newport Car Museum as well. I went to the Northeast Auto Show as well. You can check all those videos out. So, before the Chinavirus hit, I'd actually been on quite a few trips at this point. And I also forgot to mention back in June, I also went on the trip to South Attleboro, although that wasn't much of a trip. It was just going to a train station and watching trains. I wasn't making any I wasn't really in any public place. But that was interesting. That was actually kind of nice as well because that had been my first time rail fanning in 2020 in general, and it was the first time I went rail fanning in the midst of the Chinavirus, so that was interesting. However, this Boston trip would be the first trip, the first big trip in 2020, and I was a bit nervous because what would this gonna be like in the midst of travel? Like if this were a normal trip, it would be normal, obviously. Yeah, normal. But this was in the midst of the Chinavirus, so things were going to be a little bit different. I say that they weren't that much different, I'll be honest. Like, honestly, the trip went off without a hitch. Yeah, we didn't get told off by anybody. We didn't have to wear masks for very long. And that was honestly a very fun trip. It went great, honestly. I've really enjoyed myself. on that trip. Um, Although I feel like the parts of that trip that made it all worth it was, going back to Ruggles, or Back Bay, I think it was. Yeah, going to Back Bay, riding on the new Orange Line train cars. That was so cool because, I've been wanting to ride on one of those for a while, and I finally did it, and it was so cool because it was so refreshing because I was on this brand spanking new train. Well, I say brand new. It had been a year old at that point, but it was this new train car, new subway car. Here to replace the older Orange Line cars. And you know what? I didn't even think I was gonna get the chance to because one thing that I realized that I think there was only 2 of the new Orange Line sets running at the time, so I didn't even think that I was gonna be able to ride one that day, and then I did, and it made it all worth it, and it was so cool. New train, new everything, and watch the video, by the way. You'll get most of the experience, and it was so nice because we had these new sounds. You had the track more sounds, which were nice, and then you had the door sounds, the new door sounds. I really like the beeping. By the way, the beeping went to the station, and the rapid beeping when the doors closed. Oh, that was so cool, man! Oh, that was so nice. Just riding on those new Orange Line cars for the first time. You get my full thoughts on that video, but that was so cool, man. It was really cool. I liked that so much. And I saw the rebuilt F40 for the first time as well. So that was so cool. That was really cool. I saw some new things, man. It was so cool. Oh, that trip was great. I loved it. It was so nice to get out and do cool things. Alright. So that was cool. I got my first Boston trip of the year, which would be the only Boston trip of the year, but it was nice. I'd been on the train for the first time. Well, the only time that year, but that was it was so cool, man. It was so nice, man. Man, indeed. So, however, things were about to all get interesting. Now, I never tweeted about this, or I never made a video about this either, but I was about to go to an auto race event for the first time of the year, and now I should mention, so auto racing on my local racetracks was a thing, hardly, in 2020, because Seekonk Speedway was hosting races except without fans. And I actually went to the opening weekend in 2020 of Seekonk Speedway, only found they didn't allow fans. And one of the best part about that, I looked all over social media of Seekonk Speedway trying to find out if they were going to allow fans or not, but with the way they were saying it, it sounded like they were going to have fans at that race, or in the Seagull Speedway season. So we went to the track, and there was no one there, and then we asked the guy, or the lady at the ticket thing for pit crews, and yeah, we found that no fans were allowed. So yeah. But luckily I was still about to go to an event, a racing event that allowed fans. This was the Thompson 150 at the Thompson Speedway. This was gonna be an event, and I will say the day before that, and this actually goes in. This segues into September, and I'm actually gonna drop the Thompson trip for a bit and talk about something else. Or just mention something for a brief moment. I also did the video called "Why Twitter Kind of Sucks" because, a couple days before that, I had been involved in this big Twitter argument and stuff like that. Which was, it really made me realize is that Twitter just isn't as good as I once thought it was. So, if you want to hear the full tale, just watch the video. Though I could ramble on this live stream, but we're running out of time, so I better make this quick. So, yeah, watch the Why Twitter Kind of Sucks video and about the Twitter scenario. So getting back to Thompson. Actually that race was supposed to happen on a Wednesday, but it got postponed to a Thursday because of rain. So I will say the day before that though was a little bit of a tricky day. Except I don't really want to go into details because it's not. I don't really feel that comfortable, to be honest. So yeah, so I will say the day before that though was a bit difficult. Like September 2nd was a rather difficult day for me. So, but I'm not gonna talk about why because it's kind of personal. So, luckily though, The day following that, we went off without a hitch. We went Thompson. Although what was really annoying is that we found out that we couldn't bring in backpacks. We could only bring in clear bags, and they had written this on the virtual ticket, but we didn't read it, so that kind of was a bit fishy. But we eventually got through security, and everything was fine from there onwards. So this event was going to be interesting because with the usual 5 Thompson divisions, you had the mini stonks, the street stonks, the late models, the modifieds, and the light modifieds. There you go. And you had the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and this is going to be the 3rd ever NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour race that I saw in person. This was the Thompson 150, 6th round of the championship of that season. Although what was cool about this race is that my man Ryan Preece was in this race. Yes, that is right, Ryan Preece. I was about to watch my man Ryan Preece race in person in a modified race. That was pretty cool, and I'll talk more about that later. And as I talk about the situation, and that was a pretty fun event. The racing was good. Although one thing that's worth talking about though was just the car counts, just like for the Thompson race, like the car counts. Oof. We gotta talk about the car counts, man. It wasn't that pretty. I gotta be honest. So let's say for the late model division, you had 17 cars, which was all right, not great, but not terrible. Then you had the Sunoco modified division, which had 4 cars. You had the light modified division, which had about 4 cars. You had the mini stock division, which had 5 cars, and you had the street stock division, which had 6 cars. I couldn't believe it. I think the street stock division had 10 cars. I don't remember, but oh my goodness, the car counts. I had never seen such small car counts in all my life, and it was honestly kind of sad to see because it was really a showing of how far down, or just how far the economy had fallen. Like, I went to Thompson a couple of times last year, and none of the top guys that I remember from last year were at Thompson this year. It was honestly pretty depressing. Like, those low car counts. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I had never seen such low car counts in my life. But now to say the racing wasn't good. The racing was actually quite fun to watch. Like, I'd say all of the races, the Thompson division races, despite having the smallest car counts I've ever seen, the racing was still good. I'll give it that. The racing was still fun. It was entertaining. There was some good battling, especially the late model race. The late model race was really good, but all the races though, I'd say were really good. It was fun to watch. So yeah, low car counts, but on the flip side, racing was still good. Just wish we could have seen more cars though. But then we came to the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour race, the biggest race of the day. Now this race actually had so many cars that I think a couple cars actually got bumped from the race. But at least most of the top guys were in that race. So this was interesting because we had to pay attention to Doug Colby, Justin Bonsignor, and of course my boy Ryan Preece. These were pretty much the top guys of the race, but there was also some other guys as well in that race that were worth paying attention to. But my eyes was mainly on Ryan Preece, because Preece, he's my man. He is my man, so it only makes sense that I follow him in this race. So the race started out, it wasn't that interesting, but it's the beginning of a long endurance race because, like the previous 4 races that we had seen, or previous 5 races we had seen that they were all sprint races. This though was more of an endurance race. So of course, the start of the race wasn't that entertaining, but then again, that just isn't really the case with these, with these endurance races. So it was expected. But then the race picked up with about 50 laps to go, and it got good because you had battles for the lead. Doug Colby was battling with other guys, and then Ryan Preece made his way up through the field. And for the longest time, Ryan Preece was actually, he was actually falling back a bit, but I think that was actually on purpose because Ryan Preece, was probably falling back, to save his tires, and which makes sense because Ryan Preece, he's actually a bit of a veteran at this point in the modified division, so it makes sense, some of the things that he was doing in that race. But then he really let the track out late in the race, then we come to this part of the race where you had Ryan Preece storming his way through the pack, and then he got to first place. And we only had 5 laps to go. Then the caution came out. I was excited. Ryan Preece was in first. I thought was gonna win the race, and then he pulls on the pit road after his car breaks. That honestly was the most depressing, heart crushing moment of the year. Like, you know, the lockdowns were crazy. The economy crash was insane. But ironically, the lowest point of my year of 2020 didn't have anything to do with that. It was all because I was seeing my favorite driver, his car breaking and not winning the race. It was that honestly made me just so sad. I was super excited because I thought I was gonna see him win in person. 2020 was gonna be good to me, and then that happens. Man, that was so depressing, man. I was mad. I was sad. Me and Dad were on our feet, expecting him to win after his awesome performance in the race, and then his fuel cell messes up and his car runs out of gas. It sucks, man. Like, you've ever had that moment where your favorite driver is leading, you think he's gonna win, and then something happens to him which contributes him to not having a good finish. That's honestly what it felt like. Like, it crushed me. Honestly, it hit me so badly. Like, I so thought I was gonna see my favorite driver that day win. I'm trying to tear up a bit because that was just so sad. It was so sad. That though was honestly the worst part about my year. Seeing my favorite driver have that happen to him. And I went home that night just feeling sad, honestly. I was just sad because that happened. I mean, you know what? That was still a very good day. Like, that day at Thompson, I enjoyed myself. It was nice seeing actual race cars race in person, live, and I'd actually forgotten how loud race cars were, so it was such a refreshing sound just hearing those race cars just zipping around the track. The noise was nice. The rumble of the modifieds especially was so nice. It was so nice. The cars were loud. It was fun, man. It was so much fun, I think. Yeah, no, it was fun. But then that happened, and it just... I mean, the day was still great. I'm not going to say, my day was ruined. It wasn't. That was still a very fun day, and I genuinely enjoyed myself. But what happened to Priest was just, it's just so sad. I want Priest to win a race! He's my favorite underdog driver. I didn't mean to bang the table. But he's my favorite underdog driver, and that happened. Anyway, moving on. I've dreaded on this long enough. Jeez, we gotta get moving, by the way. It's almost the new year, and I still gotta get Russell on here. Alright. So, how about this? Let's get through the rest of the year as soon as possible, because there's honestly isn't that much left to talk about. Alright. So, getting to the rest of September, I went to Reedville during rush hour, which was pretty fun. Watched the video to see how that went. As far as live streams, I didn't actually do any live streams. I did do a talk show, but yeah, that was about it. Just whizzing through September as soon as possible. And September I was also continuing working on the NRL series, and I was actually planning on having the NRL series debut in September, but I had to push it back a couple weeks because of stuff like that. I forgot to mention the big storm that happened. That not the power outage, but at this point we're late in this live stream. We gotta get moving, man. So Revo Trades of Rush Hour, that was pretty fun, and then the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series schedule came out in September as well, so that was pretty cool. And I was continuing work on the NRL project as well, and yeah, I done other things. That's what I'm going to say about November, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just going to wrap this up as quickly as possible because there really isn't that much left to talk about in this year, to be honest. October, though, is going to be an interesting month, at least for a little bit. But yeah, nothing really happened in September. Oh yeah, transition happened in September. Um, so let's talk about this for a brief moment. So September, essentially, school came back in full session. For the, well, not in full session, but somewhat session, because you had ninth grade that was going back to school, and then you had transition, and then you had the transition academy. So what the almost threw up there. What this transition academy is that essentially like a job preparation program. And let's just say the program sucked. Yeah, I mean, the last 7 days in that program before I decided to just call it quits. Like it was too dumbed down. It was too kid friendly, and the teachers there just got way overreactive whenever I did something that was even minorly wrong. Like there was one point where I decided to sit in a different seat on the bus in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, that's you can't do that because we need everyone sit in the place because of the Chinavirus, and we need to make sure that everyone's social distancing." Yeah, I go way deeper into that, but this we're starting out of time, so I got to make this quick. Um, Wait, transition was terrible, and yeah, I basically didn't get a job after that. So yeah, that wasn't very good. And you know what? If anybody asks, I'll go into more detail about it, but it's just I can't now. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's all I got to say about September. Um, yeah, if you want more information about September, just watch the videos that were uploaded that month, and I did one live stream and that was about it. Okay, October. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna get through October now. Be as brief as possible. So, October, this would be a good month. At least a pretty good month anyway. Yes, Russell, what do you want? Is the microphone on? Yeah, everything's fine. I don't get why Russell's yelling at me, saying hello. I'm pretty sure live stream should be going. Alright, whatever, let's continue. So, October. Ooh, this would be a good month. This month we go to a pretty good start because, obviously this was my birthday month. I'll be turning 19 years old. Although my birthday present, well, my birthday in general will come a little bit early because October the 1st, that was a really good day because that was the day that I would see. Oh yeah, what about me? Don't worry, Russell. I'm gonna bring you on here as soon as possible. Just give me some more. Just give me more time. I'm gonna whiz through this as quickly as possible. Anyway, so let's talk about the Avelia Liberty, the Acela 2, because seeing this in person was really cool. Okay, we'll get too in depth about it because again, I've got a video on this, so you just want the video to see how the video went. But I'd say that was video of the year. That was it. That was the highest point of 2020. Seeing the Acela 2 in person for the first time. Also, I'm not in Sean anymore because, of course. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Seeing the Acela 2 in person for the first time, it was really cool. Go watch the video. It was really good. It was a good one. It was a good one, indeed. And then we had my birthday, which was it was alright. You know, usually we give birthday cake though, and when it was my birthday, but this year was so like anticlimactic that we didn't have a birthday cake this year, which was fine. Like usually, you know, with my birthday, you know, we celebrate, you know, my achievements from when I was 18 years old. But honestly, my 18-year-old, you know, tenure was, nah. It was nothing worth talking about. And I continue to work on the NRL series as well, and that's all about to say for October. Yeah, don't worry, the next 2 months are actually pretty, not really anything worth talking about, so I'm just going to just go right through these. Don't worry, we'll also bring you on in a couple minutes. So October, yeah, it was an interesting month, and I had finally finishing up all the paint schemes for the NRL series and was finally getting into filming, and I was ready for November release. November and December. I might as well just talk about both these months. So let's see. So we had the debut of the NRL series, which was nice. You had the finale of the actual NASCAR season, which was pretty underwhelming. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about it now. There's some pretty significant events that I need to talk about, but at this point, we're so late in the live stream that there's just not much time. So I'm just gonna get to this as quickly as possible. Um, so yeah, NASCAR season came to a pretty anticlimactic conclusion. Chase Elliott, I have his diecast, but I'm sorry, Chase fans, but he's not the champion. Honestly, yeah. Honestly, every time I think about 2020 champion, I'm always gonna think towards Kevin Harvick. Like every time I say, "Oh, Chase Elliott won the championship in 2020," I'm just gonna be like, "Yeah, nah, that's Harvick." And that's pretty much it for November. Again, there's some pretty significant events that happened this year that I just don't have enough time to talk about. And then came the NRL season, which I talked about already, and yeah, the finale of NASCAR season, and Formula One was also winding down that season as well. Again, I would have. Who was in the Kroger car? Oh, that's Stenhouse this year. Although last year was my boy Pre. So this year, my boy Pre is still he's still the same team, but now he's in the 37 car. So there's all the sponsors of the Kroger products and stuff. So November was other than that was a pretty boring month. Then before the month came to an end, I actually did a couple more real fannings. I went to Edinburgh, and I went to Kingston. So that was nice. Nothing else to say as far as November. I did the Gravy Train special, and that's about it. And December, yeah, just continuing on with the NRL project, getting that done. Doing live streaming, doing other things, playing trains, sausages, and sitting around the year. I come to today where I'm trying to get the Twitter data stuff, and that goes nowhere. Alright, I know that was really rushed, but we're running out of time. So how about we get Russell onto the show now? I hate to rush this, but we're running out of time. I would have started this sooner, but I wasn't really thinking, to be honest. I would have wrote all this stuff down, but you know me. Alright, so Hamster, I'm gonna need you to look at Discord. I'm gonna send you the invite link so you can come into the stream. Okay, I was gonna unmute the rest of audio. And alright, Hammond, I've sent you the StreamYard link, so now I'm just waiting for you to click and you can join. So I guess wrapping up, 2020. It wasn't that bad of a year, but it wasn't really that good of it this year either, honestly. Like this year, it was average, honestly. Like, I initially thought that 2020 was gonna be like the worst year of my life. It would be worse than 2015, but overall, 2020 was just meh. It was pretty empty. Like you saw how quick, how quickly back there I got through the thing. So it was not right. And here comes Hammond. Hammond. All right, welcome. No, bring your camera up. There we go.
Wait.
Wah.
Lights.
Yay, Hamster has lights now. Alright, so jump the volume a little bit. Alright, so Hamster, how was your 2020?
Absolute rubbish.
Oh. I mean, my 2020 wasn't that good either, but I thought it was just mediocre. Oh.
I'd rather not get into it.
Alright, well, I told you to write down your highlights of the year, so...
Oh, the only good thing I can tell you is that I graduated. That's all I really cared.
Oh.
And I have a job.
I got through this part as quickly as possible so I could get to talking about the year with you.
That's all I have to say.
Oh. So you're telling me that I did all that rushing for nothing?
Yes. I'm just enjoying your story.
Well, then I might as well tell some more stories then, since we have some time left. Seeing as we have another...
September.
What?
Finish up September. Talking about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I've really mentioned everything for September, so I guess now I'll go. Actually, October. I pretty much mentioned everything for October. So how about? So I guess now I'll talk about some other things. So I think we're gonna talk about some of the more significant things I skipped over. So how about now I tell the story. Let's go back to August. Tell the story about the big storm. So back in August, there was a storm, and I was initially gonna make an update video about this, but I never got around to it, so I might as well tell you the story here. So going back to this was the start of August, by the way, and I was doing my things and stuff, but then there was this raging storm outside, and the power went out. Yeah, the power was out. So that was fun. Um, and the power would be out for a long time. Like the power went out about 5 p.m. and I was only expecting the power to be out for a couple hours. It would be out for a lot longer than that because National Grid was taking forever with trying to restore the power. In fact, the power didn't even come back on for like another day or two because
What happened to your backup system?
I messed up basically. So one other thing that I mentioned is that, or one of the things I should mention that I do have a battery backup, except I was dumb because what happened is that I didn't plug my computer power into the right socket. Like there's 8 plugs on my battery backup, although only 4 of those get the battery surge.
You gotta show me your computer.
Yeah, so there's eight.
I have to see this.
So there's 8 power surges, although only 4 of them are powered by the battery. And I plugged my computer into the socket that wasn't powered from the battery, so the computer abruptly shut off along with the power. And I thought for a second, oh dear, is my computer messed up? And thank goodness it wasn't. I started up my computer, ran some checks, and my computer was fine, I suppose. So there's that. I actually made a video about this during the thing, imaging from my phone. And from that point on, the power was out. So I had no Wi-Fi. My devices were almost dead. The only entertainment I had was my phone. So I plugged that into the charger. And I
Your
used
crappy
that.
phone.
Oi, Russell, we can't use bad words.
Not even a bad word.
Yes, it is. We can't use the C word on the live stream. So, anyways.
There's multiple C words you can't use.
No, yes, indeed. So, anyway. So, the storm. The power was out for a lot longer than I expected, let's just say. And I think, actually, the power got wiped out on most of the East Coast. Well, I say most of the East Coast. Somehow, we lost power in the snare road, but we didn't lose power at my daddy's house, so I know she's better stay there, basically. So, yeah. So I just made a video about this, like I said, but I might as well tell the whole story here. So what happened is that after the power went out, I played on my phone for a lot, and then the power went out on my phone, and I couldn't sleep because I was wide awake and I was full of energy, and I just couldn't sleep. And there was no noise either. Like one thing
Why
I
are
should
you shooting fireworks? It's raining outside.
fish. Anyway. So the power was out and my phone was dead and I had no entertainment, so I had to just go to sleep all by myself. And I like to sleep with a bit of noise. Like I have the fan running here. I like to have a bit of noise in my room because I hate dead silence, unless it's necessary. But for the most part, I hate dead silence. So I open up my window to let in some of the air from outside, or air, the sounds from outside coming in because you have the cars driving on the road and get other noises here and there. But then you also had some, what?
You didn't tell me you hated silence.
Yeah, I don't like silence, by the way.
Does it sing like I do?
I mean, it's hard to do anything with silence. Like, I always like to have some noise in the background when I'm doing stuff. I just don't like dead silence at all. And falling asleep with dead silence is difficult. So I had the window open, so some noise coming in, but... Also, Russell, show your face.
No.
Yes. It's very important that you do that, Russell.
Why?
Come on.
No, enjoy my life.
Russell.
Oh.
You must show your face.
Continue the story.
Show your face, and then we'll continue the story. There we go. That's better.
You pay for this.
So, anyways, right. So, getting back to the big thunderstorm. So, I tried to fall asleep, but then there was this silly sausage outside the window playing his sausagey music. And he played it for a long time. And then he finally stopped playing it, and I finally was able to fall asleep. And I woke up that next morning about like 8 or 9 a.m. And then went to Daddy's house and spent the rest of the day there doing nothing. Yeah.
You
Luckily,
get
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, luckily though, I think I was able to go home the following day because the power had been back. So, actually, yeah, that day after the power went out, I went back to Snare Road and banged some coaches. I was going to spend that day doing some projects, but I just didn't feel like it at all, so I spent the day just doing whatever I felt like. And then later the day I made an update video, which I never uploaded because just things kept happening and the video kept getting outdated, and I just never got around to uploading that video, and I don't think I ever will at this point. So there's the full story here on this live stream that I'm telling you guys right now. Yeah, there are some details I'm leaving out, but actually I can't remember those at the moment. But that's basically the story of the power going out and me being miserable for a little while.
Basically, $360.
No. So yeah, that was pretty depressing for a while. What else happened in 2020? So, I guess talk about Formula One for a bit. It was an interesting season. We even got two winners that weren't Mercedes, Red Bull, or Ferrari. In fact, we actually got no wins from Ferrari because they couldn't build a good car this year. Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc were rubbish. But Pierre Gasly won at Monza, which was pretty cool. And they have Sergio Perez winning the Sakir Grand Prix, which was pretty cool. We also had George Russell in the Mercedes for one point, and he should have won that race, but of course he didn't because Mercedes' pit strategy was a complete train wreck for some reason. So well done.
Your base train wreck.
Yeah, but Sergio Perez won, so that's okay. We also went to some new tracks, which are cool. We went to Mugello. We went to Portimao. We went to Imola. We went to other places that I can't remember right now. And yeah, so the Formula One 2020 season, it was alright, I guess. There was some interesting bits, but for the most part, it was pretty much your typical Formula One season. Not much going on within the races, and Lewis Hamilton finishing 10 miles ahead of the lead pack. Although there was one point though where there was one point where Hamilton almost lost the race because his tire blew out at in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. So that was pretty cool for a bit. Lewis Hamilton pulling a Lightning McQueen and winning the race on 3 wheels. So that was pretty cool. And then of course Hamilton wins his 7th title, equaling Michael Schumacher. And then he beat Michael Schumacher in race wins as well. So Lewis Hamilton is a force to be reckoned with. And actually recently he became Sir Lewis Hamilton. And I think he is very deserving of that title indeed. And goes to the IndyCar season, which was... I don't watch every race of the IndyCar season, but honestly, the IndyCar season wasn't that good. I mean, yeah. I will at least say though that this year's Indy 500 was the best of the entire IR18 era, because 2018 and 19 Indy 500s, those were kind of boring races. 2020 at least had some action, like at least they were passing for a lead from time to time. Like it was a pretty good battle between, I think it was Takuma Sato and Alexander Rossi, I think it was. I can't remember who was the other driver. And also Fernando Alonso was in the race as well, so that was interesting, even though he really didn't do anything with the race. Hammond, I told you to show your face!
No.
Yes! You must show your face, or else I'll bring Mr. Bubbles onto the show. And maybe the blue Japanese train. That's what I thought. So, anyways, I did watch the season finale at St. Petersburg, which was an interesting race. Well, there was some other races that I missed out on in the IndyCar season. I didn't even care for the Seagull season that happened this year because I couldn't even. Well, I could watch it, but I didn't want to bother because it was like, yeah. Okay, well, I got 10 more minutes left, so I might as well to talk about some whatever else is worth mentioning. So IndyCar season not that
Here's
good. Um, I got F1 2020 this year, earlier this month, which was pretty fun. F1 2020, great game by the way, and now that EA has bought Codemasters, it might be the last good Formula One game. So yeah, so but if you want to get F1 2020, do it. It's a good game, well worth your time. I've had quite a lot of fun with it already, and yeah, I'm actually currently doing in the midst of my driver in the season 1 of the driver career mode. And let's say I'm going to do a season 2 of the driver career mode because I'm second place in the point standings, but
I will
I'll
not buy it.
what?
Nothing.
Russell, are we misbehaving?
Get on with it.
Ah. Anyways, okay, F1 2020. Good game actually. It was a very good game. I guess now we'll segue into other video games that came out this year. We had NASCAR 85. Oof. NASCAR 85 wasn't very good. Ah man, can you show your face? Anyway, so yeah, NASCAR 85, which is literally just a copy paste of NASCAR 4, except with more bugs and stuff. It had Project Cars 3, which was oh,
What happened to Auto Sim Racing?
I'll get to that soon. Don't worry. Oh, I did the Auto Simulator earlier. Did the Auto Sim stream earlier this year. Not much else you can see there. Project Cars 3. Didn't care about that game. Yeah, F1 2020. Honestly, the only racing game that came out this year that I feel is worth your time. Honestly. I actually got the Schumacher edition of the game as well, so I got the extra content. And I bought it for $45 too when they in the holiday sale. So I got the game for base 50 off, which I'd say was a very good price. And yeah. Hello, Velt. We don't play COD on this channel, so no. Anyway. So for 2020 though was a good game. Play that. We got several minutes before we're gonna prepare for the new year. The new year to arrive. Then we can play some Train Simulator. Train Sim Russell. Anyway,
No.
yes. And what else am I missing in 2020? Yeah, I can't say much, honestly. I can't say much else. Honestly, that's all for 2020 at this point. Dang, come on. There's been at least one more story I can talk about, though, that happened this year. I guess I can also talk about... You know what? Let's talk about Twitter. There's a lot to talk about there. You know, when I made the Why Twitter Sucks video, that was really the first ever, like, big Twitter war that had been in that year. But now, since there have been, like, 5 or 6 of them now. So, it's happened so much they've become numb to it. You know, I've even mentioned Chinavirus over on Twitter, and, you know, people have gotten upset at me for it. But I don't care at this point. Like, at this point, so many people have come up to me and called me names and told me how stupid I am. At this point, I've become numb to it all because people are just repeating the same thing over and over again. Like, can you say something new for once? Can you enlighten me? Or are you just gonna just... It's like they're just saying the same stuff on repeat. They can't say anything new because they're stupid, I guess, you know? That's just Twitter at this point. It's just... At this point, Twitter's just high school kids who just can't help but repeat the same thing over and over again and shove the same stuff that, you know, the big suits want you to know. Yeah. The deep state, I guess. Yeah. So, at this point, I'm here to stay on Twitter, though. But I'm probably not going to take it as seriously from here on out because it's not really that worth it. I guess talk about the NASCAR season. Yeah, 2020, man. It was meh. The the championship weekend was a bit of a joke. The truck race, man. Oh, good God. Like, honestly, all 3 races in the championship weekend in Phoenix were just sausage races. Because you had Sheldon Creed winning the Truck Series Championship despite not really deserving it. You had Tim Cindric's son winning the Xfinity Series Championship. Although to be fair, maybe all Cindric did deserve it according to Racing Reference, but
Yeah.
But I gotta debate with myself on that one. I already mentioned this briefly, but I'm still again. You have this guy win the Cup Series Championship, even though it should have been Harvick, man. Should have been Harvick or Hamlin, but nah, it was stupid. It was very stupid indeed.
You're stupid.
You're stupid. Anyway, Hamster, talk about something.
No.
Well, so I literally told you before the live stream to write down notes of what happened in 2020. Is there still something you can talk about besides your graduation? Or is that it?
No. How about Trains a New Era?
Oh yeah, Tane has been a thing. That's all I can say. Actually, remember the 4th quarter about that showed up on the special. I've been doing some work on that route. But I did for a bit, and then I got tired of it because Trains and Eras has been giving me a hard time.
Yeah.
But we've
You
also
messed it up.
It wasn't my fault. It was the game.
Yes, it is.
Heck, I had to get into contact with M3V, and they still weren't any help. Anyway.
Imagine breaking the portal.
It wasn't my fault. It was the game. I can assure you. It was all Trains in the Era's fault. I think that's it, though. Yeah. Well, we did it, boys. We made it through 2020. 8 more minutes to go. Yes, sir.
Honestly, I thought it was gonna die.
Yeah, well, fish. So, yeah, might as well close these down now. It was all Trains in the Era's fault. Yes, Russell, it was all Trains in the Era's fault.
No, it wasn't. It was your fault.
It was Tane. Okay? It
No.
was Tane. It was Tane. It was Tane.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyway, we got 7 more
Right.
minutes to go to the new year. Went. Oh no, what are we doing? Anyway, yeah, I guess now we can just banter a bit until the new year hits. And then we can play some Train Simulator.
Train Simulator.
Yes, sir. Notification. Oh, nothing. Anyway, Hammond.
No.
So, I need to go and get myself a drink. So, for the next 2 minutes, I want you to entertain the viewers in the best way possible. But make sure you don't do anything illegal. Okay? Because otherwise, I'll find out about it and I'll be very cross. Alright? Now, get out your bank coach's toys or something like that. Entertain the viewers with that or something. I don't know. Actually, get out murder.
Oh.
Haha. Anyway, I'll be back in.
No.
Yes! Hey, get some toy trains on entertain the viewers. I'll be back in a couple minutes. It was Tane.
I got something.
back. Hammond! What are you doing?
What?
Why are you giving the viewers epilepsy?
Because I can.
I hope you haven't been doing anything too stupid. I also hope you didn't play any copyrighted music.
What?
Never mind. Right. Also, I like how Twitter still isn't coming with my data. At this point, it's probably not going to come until tomorrow. So, whatever. We talked about the year enough, so at this point it doesn't really matter. Well, then, the year is almost over. I don't know how do we celebrate?
I don't know.
Well, maybe we can do the does the station joke.
No.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Station joke. Russell likes station jokes. Right, Russell?
No.
But Russell, you like it when Gridman crashes through the station wall. Anyway, 3 minutes remaining. Murr. Murr.
Why are you watching this?
Yes, I'm watching everything. I like how the first freeze frame is not me, or is me not in the thingy. Okay, so yeah, Russell loves station joke, right, Russell?
No.
Hey, Russell, 2 more minutes left in 2020. The year's almost over. Are you pleased? Say, yes, Frony, I'm very pleased. I'm pleased that this stinking year is almost over.
Shut up.
Haha. I'll already go with the fireworks. Alright, perfect. Hammond! Stop playing fish. By the way, I'm stealing this from Real Xbox Nerd, by the way.
Not copyrighted music.
Oh, what? Come on, give me the crash. We only have 1 more minute left of 2020. Alright, we gotta go. Come on. Yes! There he is. We did it. We have brought it up, and it's time to the station joke. Okay. Alright, I'm just counting down. Alright. So 7 seconds before New Year's, we're gonna do the station joke. Alright? This is how we're gonna bring in the new year. Alright, Russell? Are you ready? I'm not gonna play on screen, I'm afraid,
Yes.
but we'll at least be able to hear it. So that's fine. Alright. This is it, boys. We are almost at the end of this stupid year. Yes, 2020. It's almost over. Oh, yes. Oh, 2020. It's almost over. Yes, it's almost over. We're officially going insane. Alright, here we go. And we are playing the station joke as Christian is about to crash into the station wall. Yes, Happy New Year's!
Help me!
I wasn't expecting that, but that works. Yes! It is 2021! I'm gonna tweet on Twitter.
Hey. I already...
Yes, the fireworks going off! Yay, it's 2021! I've been waiting for this year for a long time. Alright. There's the fireworks. Now, I'm gonna open my window for a brief moment. Alright, please shoot some more fireworks. I wanna make this cool. All right, come on, come on, neighborhood people. You can do your fireworks now. You're allowed to. It's the new year. All right. It's 2021. Hey, I was going crazy about on Twitter. Right. We did it. We're in 2021. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. But 2020 is over, man. Yes, there we go. Nope. Of course. Alright. We're just gonna have a couple minutes and we'll stop train simulator. And that was his own fireworks. Okay, that's enough of that. We need the real ones to come through. Come on. Ah, man!
What?
We need real fireworks!
Okay.
The heck? Hey, please don't yell. Just shoot fireworks, alright? You're allowed to do that now. It's a new year. It's 2021. The awfulness of 2020 is over. And hopefully 2021 will be a much better year. Alright, that's enough. Well. There you go. One more firework for good measure. Well.
I still.
No! Well, there you have it. 2021 is here. So, yes. Alright, just posted my first tweet of 2021. Actually, my second one, but whatever. Yes. 2021-isms are upon us. Yes. The post in chat. Alright. 2021-isms. Yes. So, now it's 2021. Let's play some Train Simulator.
We are not going to.
We are going.
No, we are not.
Yes, we are. We are playing Train Simulator 2021. Yeah. Going. Okay, turns out I got rid of the thingamajig. That's fine. That's good. Alright. So, we are playing Train Simulator. Oh, there's a. Wait! They didn't know New Year's resolution time. Russell! Why didn't you tell me that you sent that message in Discord? It would have been perfect.
This is your.
No, this is your fault. You didn't tell me.
This is your fault. This is your life.
No, it's your fault. You didn't tell me about this ahead of time. I didn't even know. I didn't even know they were doing a thing in Times Square this year. Because the governor of. I've spoken on the football politics. I don't need to go into it. All right, let's load up Train Simulator. Whatever. Train Simulator 2021. It actually makes the name actually makes sense now because we're playing Train Simulator 2021 to 21. Yay! Russell,
No.
give me all your money.
No.
Yes. All right. Now, since if this were usual, or if this were the usual end of the year live stream, then we would just end the stream right here. But we're gonna do some more. We're gonna play some Train Sim. So, let's play Train Simulator 2021 whenever the game loads. Which hopefully will be soon.
Shut up.
Ha 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 ha. Alright, first we're going off. It's a new year. Let's now drive our train out of New York. Ah, yes. My calendar, my computer has changed. It's now 1/1/2021. That is such a nice thing to see. Oh, I'm going to let this thing in for a bit, though, but it's 2021. It's finally here. Thank goodness. I'm so pleased my watch is updated, yes. Alright, 2021. It's better than 2020 already. Ha 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 ha. Alright. Let's get this train show on the road. This will only last about an hour. But that'll be long enough to let the new year just sink in. Alright. I'm going to the good old Northeast Corridor.
No!
Yes! Alright. So let's switch over to games. Yeah.
It's fireworks.
Indeed, the fireworks still going off. Ah, yes.
The enders of the island are sort of like to go watch the back of George's fireworks.
Indeed. First still going on because of course they are. No. Anyway. Okay, hurry up, train sim. Thank you.
No!
Yes! Alrighty. We're playing Train Simulator 2021. Hey look, it's the Northeast Corridor from Washington to Baltimore route. That's really expensive. I don't usually stream this late, but hey, it's the new year. It's a special occasion. Why not? Luckily, I have tomorrow off. But next week I'll be back to work. All right. And welcome to Penn Station. In the year 03. Yes, the year 03 has arrived. Or it's back. So we got a new horn. Anyway, yeah, welcome to Penn Station. We're in New York. It's a new year, new journey, new fish. Got some trains as well. We've got an AM7, a fake AM7, and also, as you can see, I recently got the Harmon line route, Hudson line. We've got an M7 in Metro North. We've got an Amtrak P32, and we've got another fake Amtrak regional toaster train, and other things. Yes. So Russell, say hello to the AM7 thingy here. Russell. Is he still... He left. Alright. Okay, well, I do apologize for that. Oh. Oh, really? Russell's gone? Okay, at least remove myself from the live stream. This happens to have to go somewhere. Not sure why. Alright, guess I'll be finishing this one out solo. Alright, M3. I mean, M3. Arrow 3. So we're just gonna go to Newark Penn and then Trenton. Also, look at these new sounds. Oh! Oh, hey, Kamikaze Games this year tradition as I just posted. I'll have to watch that. Anyway. Oh. I thought it was a like combined throttle and brake for some reason. Anyway, yes. Of course, also the New Year Train Simulator. It's dark, but that's okay. And now I'm driving the Euro 3 in Train Simulator. Celebrate the new year. That just makes kind of sense because we're starting on New York Penn Station. And now the New Year celebrations are over in New York. We're going to take the people home. And to celebrate that, we're going to be driving the Euro 3 on the Northeast Corridor to Trenton. Making one intermediate stop at Newark Penn. Yeah. Like I said, it would usually end launching here, but, you know, since 2020 was so stupid, let's give 2021 the best start we can by playing some Train Simulator right at the dawn of the new year. Alright. Come on. And speed. So second time the Euro 3 is getting a lead role in the live stream, at least in the Train Simulator part. And also I figured that back that would show off the Hudson Line stuff, because I finally got that DLC. I've been wanting that for a long time and finally got it, so I figured, yeah, I will do a special on that at some point. I was even thinking about doing a special on that route, or doing a journey on that route for the stream, but I'm going to save it for another time. Also, the Train Simulator frame rate is running very well today. I just turned on the graphics settings recently because the game was starting to lag really badly. I'm actually glad the frame rate is working nicely for once. Yeah, I've also got Kamikaze Games uploading this year's edition 2021. I would choose to look at that right after this, but that stream isn't over yet. Yeah. Alright. So it's 2021. It's the early hours of 2021. I'm so glad that this year is finally here. It is January. It's 2021. Ah, it feels so refreshing. Now it feels really fresh to be in a new year. Yeah, I'm just saying it's January. It's 2021. It's a new year. I hope this year's a lot better than 2020. To be fair, we still have a few days to wait until we get an idea of how this year is going to be. Of course, you have some business from 2020 that still carry over to 2021, but hopefully those will be put to bed as soon as possible. But until then, let's play some Train Simulator. Which, oh, really, game? I was just praising for a good frame rate, now you're lagging again? Come on. Hey, we're outside now. Yeah. Yeah, so I got the, it's actually recently down the updated Aero 3 mod, and also with it I got the Comet Run sound mods. This one, by the way, is really nice. I'm glad that Fame Railer made it in such a way that I don't have to go and edit, because it seems like most of Fame Railer's horns are, or at least the newer ones, they've had some sort of pop to it, and it sounds a little bit unrealistic, but this horn, though, actually sounds good. This is a replacement of the default horn. I don't know if Fame Railer actually sent in to dovetail proper Aero 3 sounds, at least as far as the horn anyway. But the Fame Railer then decided coming in with his own horn anyway, own new mod horn. So, yeah. Alright, so it's New Year, so now we're having a nice, relaxing journey on Transfer 2021. I figured I would drive the Aero 3 because, yeah, I haven't driven this train too much, and I figured, yeah, why not give another round of the spotlight, or run of the spotlight, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, it's so nice to be in 2021 now. I know we're just transitioning from one year into another, but at least we can get a fresh start, a clean slate. I do have some faith that 2021 is going to be better than 2020. To be honest, though, it depends. Trump's gonna have to take back the White House, and we're gonna have to get the Chinavirus out of here as quickly as possible. But I think, so long as we do it right, we can do it. Also, I'm aware I'm speeding, but 70 mile per hour for bridge not kind of soon. I'm just gonna speed it up to 90. I got a screenshot, by the way. I actually forgot to do this in the past couple Train Splitter streams. I finally remembered it this time. And the folks are going off, because of course they are. Yes. You know, on that note, it turns out that, my original plan for this night was going to bring in Russell to talk about highs of the year, and turns out that wasn't really for anything. And I was actually gone. I heard a Discord call, so he's probably chatting with his other mates, which I should have mentioned. Ah, well. Although, I guess I shouldn't be too upset because, to be fair, he didn't really play that much of a part. I mean, well, no, he did play a part in this live stream, in the part that was very important. So, yeah. To be fair, he probably wouldn't have added too much to this part of the live stream. So, whatever. At this point, no one's watching this stream anymore. Come on. I'm playing Train Splitter to bring in the new year, and you guys don't really appreciate it. Come on. We're doing this full drained Trenton, so we might as well complete it. I think I'm just going to do a pen and then ending the stream there, but let's go all the way to Trenton. Why not? It'd actually be nice to have a good run at the start of the year. Alright, so you're down. Also, for some reason, the Aero 3 has no joint sounds. Yeah, weird. But I've had this Uzi for a while now. I'd like to make more than only intermediate stuff with the trip. Welcome to Newark Pen. I assume that's a compressor making all that noise. I'm shutting down now. Or winding down, I should say. Oh, doors are closed. We need to set off. I guess now they'll power up again. Come on. Yeah. I kind of like that winding up noise, actually. That goes... I kind of like the way that sounds. That's actually new. Because, yeah, not too long ago, actually, Fan released an update to the Aero 3 mod. Because the last time I drove the Aero 3 on this channel was... well, it was an earlier version, of course. Earlier version of the Aero 3 thingy. But since then, we've received some updates. Not like updates from Dovetail, no. It's from Fanrailer. Aero 3 mod to make it more realistic. Alright. We'll be on the express line for this journey. So now it's non-stop to Trenton. But yeah, I figured I would give the Aero 3 the spotlight for the stream. I could have done the Asala or the A64, even the AM7, but meh. I don't know why. For some reason, well, the O3's underlooked on this channel anyway. So I figured, why not? Okay, so save takes off all the amps and... oh. Okay. I see how this train. Sparks still going off, which is half expected, I suppose. Just watch her go by. Also, for some reason, this will run sounds in the lead unit. I'll have to inspect that at some point. Anyway. Oh, train. Yeah, I did put some AI trains though, so there's that. That's the AM7. Yes. I should have stayed in the cab actually, but whatever. AM7. Exit number 909. So it was Ted. And Phase 5 paint because, you know, I haven't been able to... well, I decided not to get the reskin, you know, whatever. It's Ted. Okay, pretty soon we can pick up speed for a bit. Yes. Those run sounds are nice though. Okay, seems the game lags whenever it tries to load a new part of scenery. Really, game? You gotta do that? Come on. Also, this is the interior sound, so the default shoreliner sounds, but that's fine. I'm noticing this frame drops whenever it tries to learn a new bit of scenery. It's on 55 now. Yes. Hello, floating signals. That still hasn't been fixed for some reason. Like I said, it did down the graphics stage, but I didn't turn them down that much. So that's a dovetail thing, I guess. Well, duh. So it's been a dovetail thing for a while now. Well, still 2020 over in some parts of the world, but at least now it's 2020 on the East Coast. (2021). You know, I have high hopes for this year, but at the same time, I need to make sure that my hopes aren't misplaced, because, you know, I don't want to have high hopes and I wind up getting disappointed because of some stupidity that happened. So, but we'll see what happens on January 6th, though. We're not too far away from finding out. Anyway, yeah. So I guess, you know, this would also be part of something to talk about my New Year's resolution. I don't even have one for this year. Honestly. I just hope this year is better than the last. Yeah, I said on Twitter, and I must say it here, as long as Donald Trump gets the White House back, and the Chinavirus goes away as quickly as possible, this year should be better than 2021. I mean 2020. You know, 2020 is really... Jeez, now I'm getting the years mixed up. 2021 really should be... Or I'm really expecting to be what 2020 should have been, you know. It's going to be a normal season, you know, for auto racing, NASCAR, F1, IndyCar. Hopefully all the season going to be as normal. Although with new schedules, though, so it's not going to be entirely like what 2020 would have been, but it'll still have flavor to it. What else? Shoot. This is bridge again. Yeah. I'm hoping that the Chinavirus does eventually go away, because then we'll finally be able to say goodbye to things like social distancing, or masks, or limited attendance in big events and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I will remain a little bit skeptical, but I'm going to remain positive for now. Like, I feel like January 6th is going to be a very important day. It may not set the tone for 2020 as a whole, or 2021 as a whole, but at least it will give us somewhat of an idea of what 2021 is actually going to be like. Because either we're going to be able to get the Chinavirus out of here as soon as possible, and Donald Trump will serve for another 4 years, or there's the latter option, which I pray isn't the case. But hey, if all goes well, then really the rest of 2021 should be a much better year. and something that we can all look forward to without hesitation. Here's a tricky junction. I say tricky, it's not really tricky, it's a weird junction. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So here's Broadway. They have this. Oh. Did they straighten that out at some point? Oh no, I think it's coming up. Oh, here's the weird stuff. I think. Yeah. Yeah, we can go through 110 without any sausages. Because that's realistic. Oh. Come on, Dovetail. You could have done so much more when you took down this mountain for a year. But they chose to do some minor updates. But other than that, not much. Okay, cool. 5 light shots. I don't usually do these streams at nighttime anymore. Well, I remember back in January and February 2019. I did most of those night streams at nighttime because I wanted the scenery to be reflective of what I was seeing in real life. But then I decided not to do that after a while because the problem is that when it's dark, you can't really see the scenery that well. So, yeah, so since I've really done most live streams in the daytime, but I decided to do this another night to go with the theme. It's New Year's, and I wanted time to be like at the present. And I've done so many live streams on Northeast Quarter at this point that none of this is really new territory. So, doing it at night will be a nice change of scenery. Alright, so let's go up the drop speed a little bit. Just a little bit. Not a ton. There we go. And then we'll be able to go full speed all the way to Trenton. This train is cool, man. Okay, please stop lagging, game. Thank you. Oh, we got an update. Dang it. Yeah. I actually bought this DLC to pretty much complete my New Jersey Transit collection, or New Jersey Transit Northeast Quarter collection. Well, I'd say it was almost a couple years. It was back in late 2019, actually. Not, whatever. I got this train back in time. Also, train Amtrak P32. Alright, on the brakes. Going quite fast though, 79 miles per hour. Well, 2020 is over. That's nice. Pretty mediocre year, to be honest. But 2021, well, once you figure out if, well, it sounds like kind of a good thing that we're figuring out 2020 or 2021 this early on in the year. Because really, depending on who's in the White House after January 20th, is really going to determine what this year is going to be. I'm going to keep bringing that up, but that's really important. Honestly. It's not where Ramon immediately can go so fast now I can actually leave it. Ooh! Achievement locked, New Jersey Transit 03, this is Arrow. Alright. I'm not sure what that achievement is for, but thanks, game. Alright, so I'm going to go full throttle all the way to Trenton. I wish the game would stop dropping frames though, that's kind of annoying. Maybe it's because I'm live streaming right now. Or recording, or doing. I have OBS running, you know? Like if I wasn't live streaming right now, this frame would probably be better. The train, New Jersey Transit, LP46. With 10 multi-levels. And that's the last AI train. Alright, full speed all the way to Trenton. So let's have some more flyby shots, shall we? Tell you what, I don't know much to say. I don't remember up that, but I think I'm actually gonna mute my microphone for a little bit and just let you enjoy the sounds of Train Simulator. Oh. Are you kidding me? And the game crashed. Well, dang it. Well, darn it. The game crashed. Well, Just gonna Twitter for a bit. Anyway. Dang it. Well, okay. I'll tell you what, someone get a trend, so how about we just do this? Like, I have a plan. I'll make a quick. I'm just gonna do a quick drive scenario, starting out at Metro Park, and we'll. Actually, I'll start up at Princeton Junction, and we'll go to Trenton via quick drive. Yeah. Thanks, Dovetail. To be fair, though, my computer's been running for... Actually, no. There's no excuse. The game shouldn't just crash because I exited it for a brief second. Are you kidding me, Train Sim? Stupid game. You know, I exited the game for a brief second just so I can unmute my microphone and let you guys enjoy the sounds, but nope. The game wants to be stupid. Alright, well, to be fair though, it is getting pretty late, so... we'll go from Princeton Junction or New Brunswick. I think it was we'll go from New Brunswick to Trenton in a quick drive scenario. Alright, come on, time. Yeah. Because I would otherwise do this, I would continue the scenario, but not really worth it, to be honest. Oh, how convenient. I already have the thingies. Cool. So you go from New Brunswick to Trenton. Okay. I will at least see the game crashed. I wouldn't call it a good time, but at least it crashed at a point in time that was actually not nice, to be honest. Because now we're gonna have to drive. Well, we're gonna have to start from New Brunswick. I have to crawl our way to the main line, and only then we'll be able to enjoy the sense of speed. So, well, I was gonna give you guys a sense of speed by letting the train go by, but seeing as Trainspin wants to be a stupid game, and because I got a bang. We'll just get it as quick as possible. Alright. To be fair, with the low frame rate, what is this game up to, man? I probably should have restarted my computer before I did this. Actually, to be honest, that would have been a good idea. I really should have restarted my computer before this live stream. But, I thought it would be fine. But, oh well. That's my own fault. So let's get the trend, and then we'll call it a stream. This won't take too long. Let's get to hear that startup sound one more time. All right. Okay, so I can't go too fast, but I can go up to 65 for now. Then we'll switch over to the high-speed line, then we'll go full whack all the way to Trenton. Okay, luckily there was less air train that we saw in that scenario, so we wouldn't have seen many more trains. So the trains we see in this scenario are going to be all set up by quick drive. Quick drive scenario. So dark, I can't see a thing. Name 7. Alright, here we go. Let's go full. Yeah, let's go full speed now. Why not? Full speed all the way to Trenton. Here's Jersey Park. Or Jersey Avenue, I mean. Feel the power. Okay, I probably shouldn't do any sudden movements because, as we figured out, that this game doesn't really like that. And I kind of want to get this done at some point today. Yeah, so 30 in a row they're doing this New Year's stream, and yeah. I think I'll just focus on getting to trend, and then we'll call the stream. Can't see anything though. There's, how do I turn on the ditch lights? There's an option to cab for that. Let's see. Snow brake, control. Nope, I don't see anything for ditch lights. Oh. Come on. Actually, if I do the secondary light. Oh. Okay, well at least we have more lights. I guess that's something. I got my brights on. High beams activated. Well, it's been an interesting live stream nonetheless. It wasn't the best live stream, but it was alright for what it was. It's the good part has been now Traceman, because it makes sense because 2021. Hopefully, it's a good year. I hope this year is good. I feel like it will be. But we'll be honest, I'm not certain. But we'll have to wait and see. I'll check out Twitter a little bit. There's not very much else to say. I just wanted to do this part of the journey because I wanted to actually finish it off, have some satisfaction. Because New Year's upon us, and this live stream is almost over. Shame that the game crashed though. Could have been getting close. We could be closing our trend by now. The Traceman is stupid. Anyway, Twitter people are excited for 2021. Anyway. I know I'm just texting on Twitter, but there's not really anything on in the game, I want to do this portion just because I want to actually get to trend. So we have a satisfactory ending. Oh, the train. Will express. Very slowly. Anyway. Yeah, I mentioned the Chinavirus over on Twitter. I like how people are trying to call me a racist now, when I'm just calling it what it is. Ah, well, it's 2021. Well, I pretty much talked about everything there is to talk about 2020. At this point, anything I didn't talk about is just not really that significant. You know, I actually said earlier, like, I know I was gonna forget about something, and you know what? I guarantee that there's, like, something small that there's probably something small in 2021 that never, or 2020 that that I didn't talk about, but... Oh yeah, season 25 of Thomas and Friends. Well, I mean, my opinion is pretty much the same on that, so, I mean, yeah. Oh well. You know what? Maybe pretty soon I'll do a talk show talking about other parts of 2020 that I didn't mention. Like, maybe it'll be like part 2 of this live stream, because I will be honest, this live stream was pretty rushed. But, you know, I think I at least covered all of the big parts of 2020. Like, so... I think, yeah, I might do a talk show stream in a week or two talking about the little things of 2020. Please stop lagging, game. I beg you. I look at people on Twitter saying, "Good riddance, 2020," and I agree. Yeah. Alright, well, still 2020 in some parts of the United States, but hey, you know what? At least this live stream will likely be ending right around when it becomes New Year in other parts of the U.S. Like, it's gonna become pretty soon become New Year in the Central Time Zone, and then the Western Time Zone, and whatever other time zone there is in the United States. So yeah, so it's still 2020 in some parts of the world, but it's 2021 on the East Coast now. So, boom. It looks like other people have also done their own things about 2020. Yeah. So yeah. So 2020 was a mediocre year. Not a good one. But 2021, I'm hoping for a much better year at least. And at this point, around things stay. So we're almost at Trenton. I guess now let's look at Twitter and just see what else is happening on there. You know, I know people are still getting mad at me for calling it the Chinavirus. Ooh, that's a good picture. NASCAR picture. But at this point, I don't care. Like, people can get mad at me all they want, and at this point, it means nothing to me. Anyway. Yeah. So 2021. I still, but I still put a good one though. We're on Bomb Swing. Welcome to 2021 Rhode Island. We made it. Yes, we did. You know, some people didn't survive 2020, but most did. And you know what? Those who survived 2020 will live on for hopefully a better year than the last. So yeah. Of course, 2020 was just started, so I'll wake up tomorrow morning and we'll have sunk in 2020 a lot more. Also, I know we're coming at 80 mile per hour, but I'm gonna wait until Trenton. Do they actually, do they actually, what am I saying? Do they actually start at 80 miles per hour, like, right here, or do they still wait until 2000, jeez. Yeah, so they wait until 2021 to slow down for Trenton. There's Happy New Year. Yes. Okay, we're about to slow down. Also looking at Twitter. Alright, up 3 hours. Yeah, longest nights we've done in a while. Not in a while, eh. I've made some. Actually, I've regularly done some pretty long live streams this year. I know that nearing the end of this night's been a bit messy, but ah well. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can get Hamster on here for one last hurrah. See how that works. Because we need to slice them off on a proper note. Uh, 2021. It's almost 1 a.m., so we're already an hour in 2021, which is nice. That's actually the reason why I want to do this Train Simulator bit. Just to let the new year just sink in. Alright, come on. I have to slow on too early. 30M7. Oh. I was thinking it was gonna slow us down, but whatever. Alright. I know why. The lead A unit, or the lead unit for the Aero 3 still has the default shoreline run sounds for some reason. I don't know why Jersey Rail didn't come in and fix that up. And welcome to Trenton. Alright, let's see if Hamster is live. It's actually right now it's the New Year in Texas. All right. Actually, I think Russell's actually oh, I've done the quick guys in there. I think he's actually gone in and he got an information, but the game's gonna dang it! That's the problem with quick drives. Okay, it's not really a problem, but it's still a thing. Kind of ruins the end of the thingy. Yeah. Ah, dang! Kind of wish we could look at it nice and look at the trains, but oh well. Improper hornies 5 times. Oh, I guess the game just does that when we Actually, you know, let's just show the game. You know, just for the fun of it. We've done some things. We've made it there. Yeah, this can be like our status in like 2020. We've blown a horn, but that's okay. Yeah, we've been loud basically. So I think we're gonna end it there. Yeah, not much I can say. So I know it's a bit of a oh. Okay, it's Hammond Red. Ah. Alright, come on. Try to get a shot here. Ah. Okay, there you are. Hammond! Are you alive? Hammond. Speak. Are you alive? I can't hear you.
What do you want?
Get close to the microphone for God's sakes.
What do you want?
The stream is almost over.
I don't care if it's over. I'm drunk.
It's time to do the outro. So, are you ready to do the outro? So, guys, we hope you have enjoyed this live stream. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's the new year, so let's enjoy 2021 as much as we can based on how this year goes. But until next time, look out for the blue Japanese train. Ah, 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 ah.